Welcome to the Good Sports Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Hayes. I use he, him pronouns. I am a software engineer in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm currently drinking a Aldi branded grapefruit sparkling water.
I'm M. I'm another one of the hosts of this podcast, and I'm currently drinking water out of a clear juice bottle that I ripped the label off of, but it still faintly tastes like raspberries.
Wow, so eco-friendly of you.
Well, I lost my metal water bottle, and I don't know where, and I'm worried it's never going to come home.
Oh no. I think that if I lost my current water bottle, I would probably end it. Y'all can't see it, but it is a pink and teal Awala water bottle that I bought maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, and it has a myriad of amazing stickers I have collected. I'm very selective about the stickers that I put onto this water bottle, and recently I was in airport security and I forgot to empty the water bottle, and I got all the way up and it was this huge line, and they said, "You're gonna have to throw this away," and I said, "No, I won't be doing that, sir." And he was like, "I understand." And we like locked eyes, and it was like a moment with the TSA guy, and he walked me all the way around the line so I could dump it out, and then walked me so I didn't have to wait back in line again, all the way back to the front. And I was like, "Sir, you're my hero."
I thought he was going to make you chug the whole thing.
I would have chugged the whole thing.
And speaking of liquids going into and out of one's body,
especially out of, today, it's really exciting because we actually have a guest for once. And this is our first guest that we are having since Em has moved to France. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce our esteemed, experienced, genius, prodigy guest, Kate, the urologist.
Wow, thank you so much for having me and for that deeply kind introduction.
Yes.
I would like to just, make a disclaimer that I'm not a doctor, nor am I a urologist. I work in the medical field. I am a medical provider in a urology specialty.
So you're kind of like a fake doctor.
Correct.
Yeah, so like when people come to see a urologist and they're assigned to you instead of a real doctor, they're like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, and that actually does happen quite frequently. Yeah.
But you're a PA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess, what is the difference really between a PA and a doctor? They're pretty much the same.
The level of debt?
We can do a lot of the things that doctors can do. We have less debt. We can assist in surgery, but we cannot be like the lead surgeon. And that's probably what I would think is like the biggest difference. So like if you want to become a surgeon, you should go to medical school. But for most other specialties, I feel like you can have a really satisfying career as a PA. But at the end of the day, we're not the ones who get to make the final calls when it comes to very complicated patients. Like that's ultimately going to go to an MD. So like if you want to be the one making all those final calls and like having as much power as you can, then that's another reason to go to medical school.
So according to Kate, doctors are power hungry.
According to Kate, wanting to go to medical school is a red flag.
Honestly, I kind of agree with that. I mean, have y'all ever interacted on a social level with someone who either is in medical school or went to medical school? Because they're not okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine, like, residency especially. I don't think I would make it through that.
I frankly don't know how you can make it through residency in America unless you're independently wealthy or you have your family support.
For sure.
Right. That's one huge consideration. And then just the mental health component. Like, you're not getting a lot of sleep, you're being worked like a dog, not getting paid appropriately. And it's not just like for 6 months, it's for surgery, it's 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you becoming a PA was really smart, because if I had to be like a fucking intern for 5 years, I just don't frankly think I could do it.
I mean, I'm saying that, but I'm currently in grad school, so like...
So I guess we should get into some questions.
Yeah.
We have some questions that we have come up with, and we also have some listener questions that we are excited to share with you. So we will get to those later. This is our first interview segment with listener questions.
Wow, I'm so flattered.
Yeah, they were really, really excited to hear that you were coming onto the pod. I'm still pulling up my documents, so Em, why don't you get us started?
So, as astute listeners of the podcast may know, we have made reference to past episode recorded with you, but they have not heard this episode because we goofed and some audio was not recorded. Walk us through your reaction to finding out this news. How do you feel having been a part of Lost Media?
So, I have to say it's deeply upsetting. This media is not my line of work. And so when I was invited to join this esteemed podcast, I sort of thought my content would be treated with respect. I mean, I was flattered that my audio was the only one that was saved. But yeah, it was deeply upsetting, and it took a lot for me to come back to the pod.
Yeah, no, we actually have been repeatedly contacting Kate, like almost to a problematic level, like calling every day. I've been messaging her on LinkedIn a lot. We are connected on LinkedIn for real. And, you know, I'm really glad you decided to come around and give us another shot. And I just hope listeners want to, like, donate to Kate's trauma therapy.
Yeah, I would welcome that.
So
Yeah.
we're going to set up a GoFundMe to help Kate heal from the trauma.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's frankly the least that we can do.
For sure.
Great. So, my first question, I keep hearing a lot of buzz about crystals. So apparently there's crystals in your pee, crystals in your bladder, crystals in your kidneys. Is that true?
Are you referring to stones?
Urine crystal? Is that not a thing?
There can be crystals in your urine.
There can be crystals in your urine, and I guess that kind of brings up the larger issue. Don't you worry if Elon Musk were to hear about these crystals? He might try to, like, set up a crystal farming extraction process.
I think we should be on high alert.
Yeah, and so what is the field of urology doing to keep Elon Musk out?
That's a great question.
Not enough, I would say.
We might not be doing enough, because if Elon Musk needed a consultation, we do have to.
Legally, you would have to allow him into the office.
Correct.
And see, that's kind of where my concern comes in, you know, because once he starts sniffing around, realizing that there's value to be extracted from
Correct.
Kidneys.
And there's a lot of just urine samples hanging out in the clinic.
Oh,
He could probably get his hands on a couple of those.
His little weasel hands.
Right.
I've been there around Christmas time. You use them as like tree ornaments for the non-denominational holiday tree that sits in the lobby.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, he cannot find out about that. I feel like y'all need to keep this under more lock and key.
Yeah.
And I appreciate earlier how you pretended you didn't know what crystals were. You know, I just, as a security tactic, you know, OPSEC is so important in today's day and age.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know who's listening.
Yes. I mean, I think there's actually a high likelihood that Elon is listening right now. And Elon,
Live.
if you are listening, I just want you to take a second and think about the impact, you know, that your wealth has. You know, you already have billions of dollars. Do you really need more? You know?
I agree.
And to be clear, that is a statement about urine crystals and not a political comment on Elon Musk.
Correct.
Do not speak for me. That is 100%. We don't have a Twitter. We're on Tumblr. Until Elon Musk buys Tumblr, I'm not afraid of that man. Add him to the list of...
Because that was too kind for my political opinion on Elon Musk.
You might get canceled like Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh no.
Well, here's the thing. Emma's in France.
Macron will protect me.
You know what, Trump? Go ahead and cancel his passport. He doesn't care.
Unfortunately, I do need a passport to be anywhere that isn't the US.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't you get a French passport?
No, I'm not a citizen.
What? I thought that you had to be a French citizen to
No.
live there permanently.
I think there's a student
Yeah.
visa, right?
Oh, a student
I'm
visa.
dependent on being a student, and if I stop being a student, I'd be dependent on a job to provide me a visa.
So it is similar to the United States
Yes.
in that respect.
Yes, correct.
Okay, well, maybe don't cancel his passport, but you know what?
Correct. Thank you.
But other than that,
If Trump
do
is
your
listening,
worst.
if you are listening, Trump, we take back what was said
Yeah,
earlier.
let's reel that back. And I do want to keep Elon Musk on our beef list, but let's be aware, because we don't want M's passport to be canceled.
Yeah.
So anyway, do you have another question for Kate?
I have so many questions. So, to get a little, let me know if this is too personal, crossing a boundary, but how did you break the news to your family that you have a passion for piss?
Well, prior to working in urology, I was working in the emergency department, and I was really unhappy there.
Causing them or treating them?
Causing emergencies or treating emergencies?
Treating emergencies.
Mm.
But, you know, we try not to do harm.
Try that, and
Yeah.
famously, that's the doctor's
Right.
creed, is try to do no harm.
Exactly. It's,
Yeah.
first do no harm, but sometimes we do by accident.
But try your best.
Try your best.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I was very unhappy in that job, so I just looked for another job at the same hospital, so it would be easy to switch. And then this job was available. Within urology, I'm on the oncology team, so if I sell it more like I'm helping patients with cancer, like there's...
the C word is like, whoa, like people are like, oh okay.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We respect you immediately.
Exactly.
Other diseases and ailments not as respected as cancer. Tell me I'm wrong.
You heard it here first. If you don't have cancer, you're a chump.
Yeah. Add that
I
to
do
the
think there
list.
are, other bad things you can have.
No, I think there's other bad things you can have, but, like, I feel like when someone has cancer or is researching cancer or is treating cancer, they're, like, unimpeachable. Like, oh, well, I do cancer research.
Yeah.
What if it was, like, I do research into dandruff? Where's the respect for that?
If that's what your passion was, I would respect that.
I mean, I feel like my passion is curing my dandruff. I don't know if my passion is researching my dandruff.
But I must say, I feel like a lot more people struggle with dandruff than do with cancer.
Because
you have the potential to reach more people.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so, follow-up question, Kate. What are you doing to raise awareness about dandruff?
Yeah, that's a tough one, given that, every now and again I see a few snowflakes coming from my scalp,
wow,
too. And
that's powerful.
Yeah, so
to admit.
It affects us, too. Yeah, and what am I doing to address it? I try to comb my hair, finally. Yeah, have you tried, like, brushing your hair?
Yeah, I wish for a moment that the listeners could see that my hair
Your
is... I
luscious
don't
locks?
have hair. I'm bald-headed. Like, my hair is, like, super shaved. It's, like, less than an inch. So, no, I have not. So, I feel like we can move on to the next question. So, Kate, by this point, you've probably seen it all when it comes to wieners. You've seen long ones, short ones, tiny ones, bent ones, corkscrew, zigzag, smushed, pointy, split, wet, dry, and probably even a couple double-headed ones. So, I guess my question for you, Kate, is... what type of wiener do you like?
Like, as a medical provider or personally?
Why don't we do
As
a
a
two-parter?
woman.
Do as a medical provider and then as a woman.
Okay. Honestly... the reason why it's helpful for...
Interesting.
because sometimes when... the urethral meatus, or the opening of the urethra...
Never seen that before.
Yeah.
That's one I didn't even put on the list.
Right. You also didn't put micro on the list, but
I said small, but I guess small and micro are not the same.
Right. I've never seen a micro.
Ever.
Mm-mm.
Wow, because I thought it was, like, pretty common to have a micro penis, but maybe not. Or maybe they have less urological problems.
Within our department, we have a men's health team, so they see most of, like, the penis issues.
So you're only seeing them if it's penis cancer, or like when does it go to?
I actually don't see a lot of penis cancer. So I support 2 surgeons who primarily deal with kidney, bladder, and prostate. So that's what I primarily see. I have seen, some, like, post-op testicular, for people who have testicular cancer. I've seen one penectomy, which is where they had to, like, basically remove part of the penis because there was cancer there.
And speaking of prostate, like, where is that located? Because I keep looking and going deeper and I can't find it.
In yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you put your finger in your butt,
Which I do.
you orient towards the penis.
Oh,
That
okay.
could
I
be
think
your
that's the
issue.
problem. I don't have a penis, so...
So, fun fact actually about testosterone and its effects is that if you are transmasculine and taking testosterone, they have found evidence that you begin to, not like a prostate, but you begin to develop prostate tissue inside your vagina.
Whoa.
A little bit.
Whoa.
That I did not know.
I don't know if I want that growing in there, though. I feel like I've got a pretty good, like, ecosystem now,
Right.
so now I'm worried,
Yeah,
like,
don't
we
mess
have
that
a
up.
foreign
Yeah.
invader coming in.
No, yeah.
Okay, so it wouldn't be in my butt. So it's basically kind of like
You
a
could
wrong
try-
hole situation, right?
You could orient towards the belly button. How about that?
Thank you.
Is that
Okay.
better?
Orient towards the belly button.
Yep.
Okay. And, like, how deep should I go? Because I feel like I'm, like, really getting in there, and
Yeah.
I just cannot. I mean, maybe my fingers are too short. Like,
I mean,
should
this is something I have trouble with, too. Like, you can only feel Sometimes. A very small part of it. There are some people, though, where I, like, really can't feel it at all.
Oh, wow. So you're looking in there and you're like, where is the prostate?
I wouldn't say I'm looking with my eyes.
It's more of like a palpating.
Exact, great word. Yes, I'm trying to palpate it. Can't always feel it, but we have a lot of technology these days. So the point of doing a rectal exam is to assess for suspicious nodules that could be concerning for cancer. But MRI are a newer imaging technology, and they are very good at detecting lesions concerning for cancer. Our evaluation typically consists of the digital rectal exam, a prostate MRI, as well as like PSA, prostate-specific antigen, which is
in the pee.
That's in the blood.
Oh,
but
it's stored in the blood, not the pee. Okay.
It's used as a screening test for prostate cancer. So once guys turn like 55 or something, their primary care provider will test their PSA, and if it's elevated, that means that they could have prostate cancer.
I have a follow-up question that I just thought of. So, and you might not know the answer to this, but you can give your best idea. Phalloplasty surgery,
right,
also known as bottom surgery for trans men or trans masculine people, is like sometimes the vaginal opening is closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in that case, I would wonder, how would you go about screening for cervical cancer if you can't access the cervix?
They make you take it out.
The cervix?
They make you take out basically everything that can get taken out.
Like a hysterectomy.
A hysterectomy.
Oophorectomy.
All the ectomies that can be had.
Wow, that's intense.
Well, that's interesting then about the ovary question. Like, do they...
But you still have a cervix, right?
Well, it sounds like if you get it taken out, the cervix would come out too.
The cervix would also be removed. That's intense.
Trans healthcare is the Wild West.
That's so true. It's dusty. There's cows. There's like a lot of leather.
Last time I went to the doctor, there was a tumbleweed.
I think it's super interesting.
Oh, yeah. It's very understudied. I feel like if I were researching medical stuff, that would be a really interesting area to study.
I don't know how much you all know about what goes on in phalloplasty. Phalloplasty is wild.
That's like 3 surgeries, right? And they take like part of your thigh or
arm.
Or arm.
I know someone who has a tattoo here, got phalloplasty, and now has a tattooed dick.
Interesting. I wonder if that was intentional.
I wish there was a way for me to be like, can I see your dick to see if I want it, you know? But, like, that's really inappropriate.
No, but they would show you, like, patient.
Well, the problem with patient pictures is that it's not erect. They would never show erect.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? There's different types of bottom surgery for guys where, like, they don't add any tissue. They just, like, free your clitoris from its sheath.
They, like, cut it so that when it gets erect, it can get further away from your body and actually, like, be freestanding.
Yeah, it kind of, like, extends the length, and it's less invasive than, like, adding tissue. But they don't show it erect. They only show it, and it's like, I need to see what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just... that's kind of inappropriate to ask a patient to do. So.
But you could have, like, a candid conversation with the surgeon and be like, just, because, I mean, that's a consideration.
Right?
So I do, like, I understand what you're saying, that it's inappropriate to, like, ask a patient to do that, but you could have an honest conversation with the surgeon, like, what is the outcome when it's erect, too? And, like, they might have some pictures, honestly.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to get the top surgery handled first, and then I just learned that facial masculinization is a thing, so I might be interested in that. I think the bottom surgery would be like a way in the future thing for me because I still haven't decided if I want to like have biological children.
I see.
And obviously that might make it more complicated to have bio children. Not impossible, because unless you're removing your uterus and ovaries and closing your vaginal opening, which I don't think I would ever do, just for me.
Well, I actually I wanted to be the PA for Dr. Yeah, and I was like, it was me and one other candidate, so I almost got it, but that person got it because they actually had more plastic surgery experience than me.
I hate them.
But I find in addition to, like, the life-saving, I think, like, the science in the surgery itself is really cool, like, the way that the parts can be converted, like, from one to the other.
And it's come so far, and I think that's not really realized, because I feel like the number one sentiment I hear is like, oh, well, the science just isn't there yet. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there are way better options than we've ever had before, and it's only getting better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My favorite phalloplasty fun fact is one of the common ways to make, because phalloplasty, it's arm tissue, it's not erectile tissue. So they have to install an air tank in your abdomen with pumps in the balls so you can inflate the penis to make it move.
That's how for old guys who have erectile dysfunction that want, like, a penile implant, that's how it works. That's one of the ways they do it, is, like, they put, like, a reservoir in the abdomen, and then the ball is the pump.
Yes.
Wow. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We have models at our clinic. If you ever want to stop by.
Maybe we should do, like, a good sports field trip where we go to Kate's work
Sports field trip where you show the...
It's just for that, though. It's only for that one model. I'm not interested in anything else.
Continuing on the theme of pee, what do you consider to be the traits of a strong pisser? Are we looking for volume? Are we looking for intensity?
Power.
Odor? What makes a pisser strong?
I would say you're under the age of 40, because as you get older, this is applying to men only. Or
people with prostates.
People with prostates, correct. The prostate grows as you get older. The urethra goes through the prostate, and so as the prostate gets bigger, it can grow kind of into the urethra and make the urethra a smaller tube. And so a lot of people with prostates throughout their life, the strength of their stream progressively weakens. But then there are medications, and if you have your prostate removed, you could still be a strong pisser.
So why don't they just remove the prostate in everyone?
In everybody? Because there's a lot of side effects, and it's a major surgery.
Yeah.
Side effects being impotent and urinary incontinence.
Okay, so it can make your stream too strong, basically.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So you would say the only criteria for being a strong pisser is being under 40. Is there any other criteria?
Maybe if you're on the medication that I was alluding to, it's called Flomax. It helps, which, it's a funny name.
It's
funny.
really called Flomax for real?
That's like the generic name. It's called TM-Psilocin, but the name is the brand name is Flomax. And that's probably one of the most common medications I prescribe. And it basically relaxes the smooth muscle of your urethra to kind of open it up a little bit. So it makes it a lot easier to pee. But men are so grateful when they start that medication, because they're like, wow, instead of waking up like 8 times a night, I can like sleep through the night. If your prostate is making it harder for urine to leave your bladder, then you're more likely to retain urine. And if you think of
emptying.
Yes. And if you think of a cup that's always half full, it doesn't take much for it to get full and for you to get the urge to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
And so when you're not emptying well, that creates a lot of symptoms like urinary frequency, waking up overnight frequently. So the Flomax helps strengthen the stream, but also improves bladder emptying, which can improve a lot of people's symptoms. Also, if you're retaining too much urine over time, it can back up to the kidneys and cause
crystals.
Kidney damage, and maybe crystals too. Again,
Whoa.
don't feel that confident in what I'm talking about the crystals. I don't feel that knowledgeable about crystals.
Okay, no. I know that you have to say that because of Elon Musk, but Kate is winking a lot right now. Like her eyes twitching like crazy. So just want to let our listeners know that. So on the subject of urinary frequency, as our listeners will not remember because it was a lost episode, last time you were on our show, you said that it was the normal amount of times to pee a day was 3 to 4 times a day.
I also think about this.
I've changed that to 3 to 10.
To 10? Okay, good. Because I've been spiraling.
Okay, yeah, that also makes me feel better.
Didn't I say 3 to 6?
You said 3 to 4 or 5, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've been spiraling.
You may have revised to 3 to 6.
I've been doing everything I can to stop the flow of urine, but it just keeps coming.
Is this a question from us, or is that something that you're
I'm just sharing, like, I'm being vulnerable right now. Stop laughing. Like, this is not funny. Like, it's like 20 to 30 times.
Is that true? 20 to 30 times a day?
Yeah, it's true.
Well, things that can cause urinary frequency are...
Prostate.
The prostate. Yep,
which I don't have.
Right.
As we've established, unfortunately.
But you may have some prostate tissue.
But I may have some prostate tissue I should be on the lookout for.
Right.
But that wouldn't affect my urine because
I wouldn't think so if it's in the vagina, yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're having a prolapse of your vagina into your
I should hope
bladder.
not. What?
Which would be unlikely at your age.
Wow.
Yeah, I should hope not. Okay, damn.
But what was the question?
You were talking about
your
things that could cause
frequency.
20 to 30 times a day.
Yes, yeah. So that's a lot.
I feel like a tone of judgment.
I mean, I do think...
Are you saying I'm not normal?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. I also
That is
think
so transphobic of you.
Having me on this podcast is not seeking medical treatment for a condition.
No, I wasn't seeking medical treatment. I was seeking medical advice.
Advice, okay.
Which as I understand, you can freely give at any point, right?
Correct, with a grain of salt.
Yeah, with a grain of crystal.
But I was going to say that too. But some things that cause urinary frequency are consumption of bladder irritants, which includes coffee, carbonated beverages, alcohol, and spicy food.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, are any of those things you're consuming regularly?
Alcohol, no. I pretty much don't drink because it's very pro-inflammatory, and I have inflammatory problems, so
Gotcha.
I don't want to make that worse. Coffee, oh yeah, because I have migraines, so caffeine often helps with the migraine.
Mm-hmm.
And carbonated liquid, drinking one right now.
Right.
Drinking one right now.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing?
Spicy food.
Oh, fuck. Okay. That's... Yeah, I eat a lot of spice.
Do you wake up overnight to go to the bathroom?
Well, if I'm going 20 or 30 times a day, I'd like you to just do the math, Kate.
Well,
What do you think?
You said during the day. I wasn't sure if that was...
Oh, that's over like a 24-hour
you meant like
period.
over a 24-hour period.
So, it gets to the point where I feel like I'm pissing more than I'm sleeping.
Yeah, maybe you would benefit from Flomax.
Yeah, to reduce the size of my prostate.
It does act on some of the smooth muscle in the bladder as well. So for people who don't have prostates, it is still something we prescribe. Main side effects are lightheadedness as as retrograde ejaculation.
Hello?
So instead of your ejaculate coming out of your penis or whatever.
It comes out of your mouth?
Ejaculate comes out of.
It comes out of your ears?
No, instead it goes backwards into the bladder, and then you just pee it out. It's not dangerous. The only thing it would affect is if you're trying to conceive.
Oh. I don't think I can ejaculate, so I don't know that would be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not a big squirter, so.
Okay.
Just so our listeners know, I'm not a squirter.
That's getting cut.
Wait, I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I
that
never
knowledge.
squirt.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that, because then I think you might have not a hard time with Flomax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, I'm a good candidate for Flomax. You guys heard it first. I feel proud.
Some people also have just overactive bladders. So those things I mentioned, those irritants, can cause symptoms of an overactive bladder, but some people just have it at their baseline, and there are medications for that too.
Flomin?
That would be...
Loman.
We should trademark that.
Yeah. Wait. Song of the summer. So speaking of getting up to pee, like usually when I get up to pee, when I'm on my way back from the bathroom, I'll drink a full cup of coffee and also a beer. Is that
That's
a problem?
really, yeah, I think that could be contributing to your overnight symptoms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never thought that would be an issue.
Yeah.
Day or night, you drink a full cup of coffee and a beer.
And a full
I mean, I
can
think
of
that's
beer.
it's nice to have the caffeine to
keep me awake at night.
right. Well, that, but also to kind of counteract the sedative nature of alcohol.
Yeah, it's almost like I just even out.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I thought that was healthy.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why Four Locos are a health food.
Right.
I mean, I'm from Florida, so it's one of the food groups.
It's for Loco.
It's for Loco.
It's one of your 5 a day.
I'm glad I don't practice in Florida.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you'd probably be getting paid $12 an hour, so.
I have a follow-up. Since we're talking about Flomin, I actually am really proud to announce on the pod that I quit peeing cold turkey about 2 days ago.
Oh my god. Wow.
I've never been happier.
Okay.
Congratulations.
It's such a time suck. It's so unhygienic.
You're always wiping and smearing and flushing. Ugh.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's totally fine as long as you are okay if we put tubes into your kidneys to drain your urine.
Well, my question was more immediately practical of sometimes I hear the siren song of the toilet calling me back. Do you have any advice to resist the urge?
One day at a time, man.
One day at a time is good. I think getting, remember what I had said earlier about how when you're retaining urine, over time it can cause kidney damage because it'll back up into the kidneys and cause them to swell.
But you have 4 of those, right?
Divided by 2.
8?
Divided by 4.
16?
No, stupid. That'd be 32.
Dog, you're so right.
Yeah,
Please
but
don't.
the correct
don't try
answer
to-
is we have 32 kidneys.
Don't try to explain math to us. We both studied math in college, so.
I know. So did I.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You studied math in college?
I was a minor.
What was your major?
Neuroscience.
Her major. P.
Piss. I got a bachelor's of science in pissing.
Where did you go to school, Kate?
I
Your
went
alma
to
mater.
University in Virginia.
Why Virginia? Feel the vibe?
Yeah, well, I wanted to go to a liberal arts school, but I also wanted, both my parents did business, and there was a hot second when I thought maybe that's what I would want to do too. And so this college has both a liberal arts school and a business school, which is unusual for liberal arts. It's a Division III school, and I was swimming in high school, and I wanted to swim in college. That was a team that I was eligible to swim on. I only ended up doing it for a year, but that was also part of it.
You were kicked off the team for peeing in the pool too much.
I wasn't kicked off. I resigned, but I did pee in the pool probably every practice.
You resigned in disgrace.
In disgrace.
So, yeah.
Yeah, in disgrace, sure.
Resigned in disgrace. Forced to resign.
Yes, yeah.
That's when you knew, right, that your passion was urology.
Yeah, that's probably when I found out, when I was sort of man, I can't pee in the pool anymore, which was so convenient. Now I feel like this drive or this calling to help other people who are struggling with urinary problems.
Yeah. Wow, that's such an inspiring story. I felt a little moved by that.
Yeah.
Like, I recently went off of my SSRIs, and now I can cry again, and I almost felt like a well of tears.
Wow.
Yeah, just wanted to share that with everyone.
Oh, I wish I could get off of my SSRIs.
I don't. I love my SSRIs.
Actually, my doctor had to add an adjunct.
Oh, lovely. When one's not doing it for you.
Yeah.
Let's all go around the table. What SSRIs are you on?
I'm on Zoloft.
I was on Zoloft. It made me asexual.
Is that sertraline?
Yeah.
Sertraline buddies.
Oh, yeah.
You too? Nice.
And what's your what's your extra, like Abilify or?
Wellbutrin.
I've heard people have good results from that for different things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was on Zoloft for a while. It made me fully asexual, and that was like a problem for me. So I had to like go fully off of that and onto Lexapro, which frankly worked great and had no side effects. But once I started T, I lost the ability to cry or feel a lot of emotions. So I was like, well, I should try going off my SSRI. So
Interesting.
yeah, and it's been great. I didn't have any trouble going off of it, which is weird.
Did you taper off of it, or were you at low enough of a
Oh,
dose?
I tapered. But it only took like a total of like 2 months. So I wasn't on a very high dose. So
I
I
see.
didn't have far to taper down.
A problem I've had professionally, less so in my new job, but at my old job, when I get anxious, I
Pee.
cry really easily. What did you say, pee?
I said pee because this is a podcast about urology, but wait, so when you get anxious, you cry?
Sometimes. That was like in the emergency department when that happened. People
Oh.
like I was able to like hide it from patients, but like it got to a point where I was like, this probably isn't a great setting for me if this is happening.
Very anxiety-inducing, like, place to work, you know?
But I was wondering, do you think if I started a low dose of tea, not with the intention to transition, do you think it could help with my hyperactive crying?
Well, I feel like maybe. I mean, it affects everyone a little differently.
Yeah.
Some people don't have this issue at all where they have trouble crying.
I mean, when I started it, I wasn't on any SSRIs, and I didn't cry for 2 years.
Really?
It is like a common side effect, but it's not universal.
But do you still feel sad?
Oh, it was awful. I was in the like absolute pits, and I couldn't release it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, I find it like therapeutic to release
It is.
Yeah.
Isn't it like scientifically, like it reduces cortisol levels to cry? Like,
Really?
The physical act of crying actually like is a self-soothing biological coping mechanism. And so when you can't cry, it's like really frustrating.
Well, and that would be like how it would happen at work is I'd be like on the verge and it's like nothing could make me feel better because I just needed to like release this. But yeah, it's not as much of an issue. Like it was just in that particular environment, it was causing problems for me.
It sounds like a toxic work environment, which is like really funny that like that's normal for medical profession.
Yeah, my new role, like I have a lot more privacy and I
Can cry whenever.
I never yell, so
I can't really imagine you yelling. I mean, I've seen you yell on stage
Well, yeah.
before, like doing improv. Which, speaking of improv, didn't you have a question?
I guess this is just more of a like, so we got to know Kate because we took a bunch of improv classes. What got you into improv? How did you decide it was something you want to pursue, and what keeps you hooked?
that's a great question. So a lot of this also has to do with my transition from my old job to my current job. My old job, I was working very regular hours, and so I couldn't commit to anything like weekly. So I had like no real
Wow.
hobbies.
Mhm.
I mean, other than stuff I would just do like by myself.
Talk about mental health effects.
Yeah.
Being able to have hobbies.
Yeah,
You know?
so I had plenty of free time. It was just like it was not consistent,
Exactly.
so it was like hard to make commitments to things. And I worked every other weekend. Like now, I work no weekends now.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, I finally was like, oh, I can actually like take a class. And I'd been interested in doing improv for a while. I had seen a couple shows at Improv Asylum, which I thought were really fun. And I've always felt like my sense of humor has been reactive to other people rather than like, I would love to do a stand-up class, but I never thought I would be particularly good at stand-up because I don't think I'm good at coming up with stuff from nothing. But I feel like if someone else gives me something, I like to
Bounce off of it.
bounce off of that, exactly. And so that's what got me into it. And I started taking classes at and then simultaneously started with JP Improv.
Oh, you were doing classes at the same time?
I was for a few months, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting that you mentioned our podcast actually has a long-standing beef with them. So knowing that, how would you compare the classes as far as like vibes, overall level of danger?
I'm curious, what's the beef first before so I can just answer.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it is vibes based. It's just like a snootiness.
Okay.
It's just like a superiority, and just like some of the conversations you and I have had about how they're set up to like pit people in a competition against each other.
Okay.
Which I personally don't vibe with. And then I just feel like a lot of their comedy is like really geared towards like tourists.
Okay.
You know? What are your thoughts on that? Like, let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I love... I do think the past few months I've been more, like, into JP Improv. One, it's, like, I feel like I fit in a little bit better, and obviously it's, like, much easier for me to get to. But the classes are structured fairly similarly, but there are 6 classes. So levels 5 and 6 are basically just preparing for your graduation show. So you're not doing as much, like, improv-heavy classes, and also the graduation show has sketches in it. So, like, part of the class time is used writing sketches.
Oh, writing sketches. Like ahead of time, not like for improv?
Our graduation show was half improv, half sketch.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas JP Improv has no sketch because it's improv.
Right.
That would make sense.
And so, yeah, like, that was something in the last few levels I was sort of like, I kind of miss just doing improv. But I think the instructors have been great. The way the classes are structured are not all that different from how Miles does them. But, yeah, once you get into level 3... you're eligible to audition for their house teams. It's on Tuesday nights. It's a run of 8 shows. So every 2 months, there's a new round of auditions, basically, but it's a mix of current students and alumni. And so I think that is kind of where a little competition gets into play.
Personally, I think competition is inherently anti-creative. That's my hot take of the day.
Yeah.
I think it fosters less risk-taking because you're trying to do what they want so that you can get the result that you want. And it's like, how do you have true friendship and cohesion with people that you're competing against, you know?
Yeah, I think one of the things that helps is it's only a 2-month run, and then it's like a whole new group of people.
And who's deciding, like, who passes the audition?
It's coaches, or like the people who teach the classes and people on the main stage, they will each like have a team. So it's like one of the guys is named be your coach. And so he will, like, as people are auditioning, like, write down people he wants to include on his team.
I feel like that's just giving me anxiety just hearing about it. You know, like, I don't know, maybe I just don't like that type of competition myself.
Yeah.
You know, maybe for some people it actually helps them be creative. I don't know, just for me, I think it's just not the vibe, and the vibe is off.
Yeah, I mean, I do think any performing art, if you want to be like, because you could be an improviser that only does classes in studios and never performs, which is
valid.
Very, like, yeah, very, like, and honestly, that's more of what I do, I feel like.
And I feel like that's the vast majority of people.
Yeah, but I think people who are trying to, like, make it in the industry, and I do think there's different levels of, like, I think some people are better at improv than others.
Well, yeah.
And so...
That is true.
Right? You know? And so it's like, I do think there needs to be, and I is, like, the main spot for improv. So I think that's the place that people who, like, really want to be performing a lot, maybe have a dream to, like, be on SNL, that's the place they go. And I do think competition is just part of that industry.
That's a valid point. And any thoughts on our beef with...
My beef with them largely originates because I went to their, like, pre-inauguration show, and they had a sketch that they wrote, and it was a song of someone dressed up in a Trump costume.
Oh, I was there with you, right?
Yes. Singing about the TikTok ban. And I was like, first of all, this is pre-written.
Yeah.
Absolutely nasty.
Yeah.
Absolutely nasty. Like, if someone improv that would be impressive, but because it was pre-written...
I also think that's kind of where it lies too with the sketches versus the improv, because I feel like, again, I don't really like writing sketches. I feel like a sketch to me isn't that funny unless it's, like, really good. And maybe some of them are really good. For me, I think writing comedy is, like, a totally different skill than, like, performing comedy, you know? So
yeah, and there's less
weird
pressure too, because it's like you just have to know your lines, but you're not standing on stage with no idea what the person next to you is going to say.
Yeah, and, like, that's the thrill that I like of
Yeah.
improv. It's almost like an adrenaline rush, you know?
Right.
And I think if I were to pre-write stuff personally for me, I would overthink it.
We had some interesting sketches in our graduation show that, like, incorporated improv, which I think is a fun way to do it. One was, it was like the Real Housewives of the Salem witch trials.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
god. Okay, that's funny.
And a bunch of us, like, came out, and we all were wearing bonnets, and we all, like, hated each other, and the person hosting would get questions from the audience to ask each of us, and, like, I'd be asked a question that I didn't know ahead of time, but that I would answer, and basically we would all just start fighting. So
Hell yeah.
it was, like, that was fun, because it was organized, but there was a lot of room for improvisation.
Yeah, that's a good combo.
Give us a piss jar update.
Let me give you all a piss. Well, first of all, it's a piss jug. Okay,
My
Get
bad.
it right.
My bad.
Yeah, right. It's very insensitive of you. So recently I had to have a medical test done where I had to pee into a jug.
For 24 hours.
For 24 hours,
Yep.
yeah. You're familiar. I see. First of all, the opening was way too small.
Okay.
I'm like, this is clearly made for people with external parts.
Right,
Because
right.
I'm like, basically, I would like get it on my hands and feet every time
I feel like they should have
used
given
it.
you, like, a funnel or something.
Yeah, I really wish I had a funnel and I didn't think of it. But usually when I get blood work done at this lab, it's like less than 24-hour turnaround time. This was almost a week
Okay.
before I got the results
I think they
back.
have to send it out to interpret those.
And so that leads into my question, which is when they're interpreting it, is it smell? Is it taste? Is it like viscosity? Are they looking for crystals? And since that information is available, how do I find out how I rank in all of those categories?
Have you gotten the results?
It was just a little disappointing because I got the results and it just said normal.
I see.
And I'm like, does that mean I'm average?
The context that I know that people have had to do these tests for are for people who have a history of kidney stones. They're analyzing the urine to see if there's anything in the urine that's predisposing them to developing kidney stones. So one of the things they look at is volume.
How much you pee?
Yeah, so the number one way to prevent kidney stones is staying well hydrated, and so that's the first thing it'll show you.
Not a problem for me.
you'll how much you pee is sort of
I
like one.
almost filled up the jug.
Okay. Good.
It was a lot.
And then they'll look at certain, like, electrolytes in the urine, like calcium, potassium, because there are a few different types of stones, but some can be from calcium, some can be from potassium. So if you have, like, a shit ton of potassium in your urine or calcium, then there may be, like, lifestyle changes or medications you take to treat that to make it less likely that you will develop a stone in the future.
I just felt, I guess, a little offended that they called my pee normal. Like,
right. You thought it was,
that's
like,
almost like synonymous with, like, average, mediocre.
Correct.
Like, I'm like, what if I have excellent urine?
Like, you wanted a more positive.
Yeah, I just feel
result.
like I would have liked them to, I don't know,
Like,
give me
comments smell better than any piss I've ever smelled.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. I've gotten that feedback before. So
Okay,
it was just weird to me that, like, they didn't include any notes about the smell or taste.
Yeah, the taste thing is weird. That's one of the most important components of
I
the
know,
test.
and I'm like,
yeah.
you didn't even taste it? Like,
Yeah.
hello? I've been pissing in this jug for 24 hours.
It's like
and,
the least you could do is...
Keep it in your fridge nice and cold for them.
Oh, yeah. I also had to store it in my fridge all day, so my roommates got to enjoy my little piss jug taking up space in the communal fridge here. I'm sure they appreciated that.
Well, this leads actually very well into our listener question. Our first ever listener question. If you want to have your question featured on an episode of Good Sports Podcast, please write us your question at www.tumblr.com/goodsportspodcast. That's www.tumblr.com/goodsportspodcast. We have a question here from Dick, who lives in Pennsylvania. Dick writes, I consider myself a top 1% peer. My boyfriend doesn't believe me, even though I've pissed in his mouth and he enjoyed it. Eye roll emoji. Is there a certification I could get or a contest I could enter to show him that I'm just really good at pissing?
I think one test that could be helpful would be a kidney bladder ultrasound.
Wow.
Because they test the volume of your urine pre-void and then post-void.
Amazing.
So the ideal candidate does not retain urine. So if he had very little urine in his bladder after he peed, I would say that that's one measurement of success.
It's an objective measurement.
An objective measurement. If your kidneys are not swollen with urine, another measure of success. There's also a test called Euroflow, where you pee into a sort of like a toilet, but it's a special thing, and it'll detect the volume that you urinate as well as the velocity of which you are urinating. And
the velocity?
and also, like, because certain types of conditions, like some people have staccato urination where they like go a little bit, go a little bit, go a little bit, go a little bit.
I
Like,
see.
A normal urination is like a bell curve almost, because you have like a peak and then it slows down.
tapering off, yeah.
But then some people have like these really weird patterns.
Wow.
So a uroflow
Does it
would
generate
be the
like
other.
a graph of like volume over time?
It does. Yeah, it prints.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it prints out a little graph for
Do
you.
you think I could get my insurance to cover this test if it's not medically necessary? Like, I have Aetna, by the way. It's pretty good insurance.
I mean, I've been at work and like people will just pee into it and get the results.
Wow.
Like my coworkers will.
And I'm sorry, what was this guy's name? Dan?
Dick.
Dick.
Yeah.
From
So,
Pennsylvania.
Dick, you should get your hands on a Euroflow. It sounds like, and that way you can prove to your boyfriend that you're actually the best
Really
pisser
good
around.
pisser, yeah.
I have another question. On July 30th, 2025, you sent a picture to our group chat that read, thinks her Blatter, Blatter, fallen out again. Is that able to happen? So I guess my follow-up question is now, and for listeners, we're recording on September 28th, so it has been a minute. Like, where is she now? And more importantly, is that able to happen? The Blatter falling
The
out?
Blatter. So, yes, it can fall out.
From where?
This wasn't my patient.
From which hole?
It can, like, prolapse, so it can come out of your vagina, basically.
Can it come out of your butt?
That would be a rectal prolapse.
So yes.
Yes, your pelvic organs can come out of your holes.
Not the urethra, though. It's not coming out
I
through
think
there.
it might be a tight fit.
No, I would say most of the time you can have, like, a urethral prolapse, but I think in the majority of cases, it's through coming out of the vagina. And so a lot of people that have that problem need something called a pessary, which is basically like something you put in your vagina to keep your bladder in the right place.
Is it like a balloon that just inflates in there?
It's not a balloon. It's like I don't even know what it looks like. It's just a device, but it's not a balloon.
Would it like get in the way of fingering?
Probably, yeah. Well, it would probably be there. I don't counsel patients before they get this, but I'm curious because it's, again, a little outside of what I'm primarily doing, but I'm curious if before a woman gets a pessary, if their doctor is counseling them on,
Insertion.
the way it may affect your sexual activity going
Wow.
forward. Yeah.
So is that like a for life thing? Like, does that just have to stay in there?
That's one way to manage it, or you could get like a surgery to like attach your bladder where it's supposed to be and
I would
like,
get that
secure
surgery.
Secure it.
For the listeners, Kate is making a hand gesture that is very disconcerting when she says the words attach.
It's just like,
It's like cupping up into the air.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
they just like sew it to
Nope.
something to keep
I'm
it where
good.
it's supposed to be.
Wow.
But because if your bladder is hanging out of your vagina, it can be a little harder to empty your bladder.
Yeah.
Urinary retention. And this can cause the issue of backing up to the kidneys.
I can imagine it would make it harder to do most things if your bladder is hanging out of your vagina.
Yeah.
Bladder, again, spelled Blatter.
Yeah, again,
T-T-E-R.
it's spelled, that's actually the correct way of spelling. Blatter.
That message was for one of my colleagues. But that isn't a really a perfect example of how people use Patient Gateway to ask what is supposed to be non-urgent medical advice requests.
That's pretty urgent.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
That would be pretty urgent.
Yeah.
I would have called, okay? I probably would have just gone. Like, I wouldn't have, like, sent a text. Like, I'm not sending a My Chart message if my Blatter is falling out.
I had this one patient who had I don't know why I was seeing her, but some things just get, like, thrown on my schedule sometimes that are not always, like, appropriate for me to see, but it was a lady with a bad prolapse, and she was seeing urogynecology in 2 days. So I don't know why she felt the need to have this appointment with me. When she was seeing, like, the specialist that can help with
Putting it back in there.
The real doctor.
Yeah, a real doctor, not like a mid-level.
Even you're like, you should not be seeing me. You should see a real doctor.
So I was like, I don't think I need to do an exam even because I don't think it's going to change anything. Like, I'm not the one who's going to fix this for you. And she was like, I would really feel better if you took a look.
She said, no one ever. I really would like you to take a look at my vagina. Like,
I'd really like you to take a look at my bladder, which is currently hanging out of me.
Yeah, and it looked like a little, like, balloon coming out of her.
and you're like, yep,
Vagina.
still hanging out.
Yep, I
No
was like-
updates.
It is what it is. My recommendation is you go see a urogynecologist, what you're doing in 2 days.
Do you have any tips for keeping it up there?
That's crazy that there was a 2-day wait. Her
That
bladder
is
was
crazy.
hanging out.
It's been a chronic issue, though. So,
That should not be chronic. I'm like, if my bladder's falling out, it's an emergency, and I
Yeah.
will not leave the hospital until it's corrected.
in her case, like, her kidney function was stable. She was not uncomfortable.
She was
To
not uncomfortable.
Physically or
No.
spiritually? Because physically,
Yeah,
sure.
like
Spiritually,
emotionally.
I think she was aware that something was wrong, but I don't think it's particularly, I'm sure some of them can be, but I think in her case, hers wasn't particularly painful.
Wow.
And I think she would literally like push it up
No.
to help her urinate.
No!
And so I was like, well, I don't need to do that for you then, because you're doing it yourself.
The
So
hand motion that you made, it was even more disturbing than the last one.
That's wild.
but ways to prevent that would be not having vaginal birth.
Fair enough.
But that's not me saying you shouldn't have birth vaginally if that's what you would like to do. But
that's a risk factor.
yeah, I think anything that disrupts your pelvic floor muscles. But there is a thing called pelvic floor physical therapy. Essentially, it's like Kegels and beyond. So I think keeping those like pelvic muscles strong, I would think would decrease your likelihood of having a prolapse. But again, it's not my area of expertise. I don't want to provide false information.
I don't know if any of that is going to make the final cut, but thank you for sharing. Because we're going to have to put like an NC-17 rating onto this podcast. Which I feel like it's already probably going to be like labeled as explicit.
In many episodes, we've talked at length about hookups you've had in moderate detail.
Okay, but like they don't have organs hanging out of their vagina. Like, don't you feel like that's another level of gruesome?
I guess.
Like, okay, well, some of my hookups have been pretty gruesome, but like that's another level.
He kills them.
Hey, what, am I the Craigslist killer? What the fuck?
Kills present tense.
Kills as in I killed at that show.
Right.
You know?
Like we always do.
We literally always do. Was there another listener question, or is that our...
No, that was the
is
only
our
one
show?
that we wrote.
Yeah.
Oh,
We haven't even released our podcast yet, so the listener questions are just ones that we write.
you're Dick from Pennsylvania.
I've been Dick from Pennsylvania the whole time.
Yeah, I think that it'll be cool once we have actual listener questions, but I also think we should insert some fake ones in there.
Okay.
Just to, like, keep it real.
No, I think that's
Or unreal,
funny.
I guess. Yeah, cool. Well, Kate,
Thank you so much for being a good sport. To end with, do you have any questions for us?
anything you'd like to, like, confront us on?
Who do you see being your guests in the upcoming episodes?
We've been trying to get Miles off and on for forever.
Basically, since before we started the podcast, we've been trying to get Miles onto the podcast, yeah.
One of these days it'll work.
My friend who's an esthetician,
Oh, fun.
I think I said that wrong.
No, I think that was right.
She waxes
Esthetician.
legs. I don't know the difference between that and, like, the type of doctor that puts people to sleep.
Anesthesiologist is the one who puts them to sleep temporarily. Euthanasiast is the one who puts them to sleep permanently.
An esthetician is not related to either of those in any way. Okay. Awesome. Well, Kate, thank you so much for joining. I really hope some of this is able to make it into the podcast because we have discussed some pretty gnarly shit today.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, just thank you for being, like, real and raw with us. Like,
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I like talking about my work.
yeah,
I enjoy also, like, making people feel...
uncomfortable.
I like to normalize talking about things that, especially, like, in my appointments, I appreciate making people feel more comfortable talking about something that is, in society, considered uncomfortable. So, like, I like to make people feel, like, less embarrassed about their problems and things like that.
Like, let's reduce the stigma
Right.
about pissing 20 to 30 times a day because, like, even you have some unlearning to do because earlier you were being really judgmental towards me.
Yeah,
So,
no, I know, and that's
yeah.
my bad. I also have to learn a little bit more about crystals.
Their healing properties and their relationship to the moon in particular.
Yes.
Right. Like, do they need to be charged overnight?
Your
By the
kidney
moon?
crystals?
The urine crystals.
That's when they charge. It's overnight.
Okay, but what if you're peeing a lot overnight?
That's my problem.
Right.
My crystals aren't getting charged. Shout out to Boston Public Library, who is not hosting us today or probably for the foreseeable future. But still, shout out to Boston Public Library. You're awesome.
Yeah, anything you want to shout out?
Oh, yeah. Do you have any things you want to plug? Like our Instagram?
Yeah, we, Hayes and I, and formerly, but
M.
still currently M, are in an improv troupe that we just formed called Loose Jaw. We are on Instagram. Our name is Loose Jaw Troupe, TROUPE. And you should follow us, and
I don't think I follow the Instagram yet.
I don't have an Instagram.
I thought you did because I followed you.
No, I do have one. I just don't have it on my phone.
I see. But yeah, we will occasionally post some funny photos and videos. And we're trying to, make it in this world, so show us some support.
Hell yeah. Thank you for listening to Good Sports Podcast. I've been Hayes.
And I've been M, and this has continued to not be a sports podcast. Remember to follow us on Tumblr at goodsportspodcast.tumblr.com.
Our asks are open, so drop your opinions and you may be featured on a future episode.
Our podcast art was done by Ellis. You can follow them on Instagram at digitalfuture.cat.
Love us, hate us, let us know by leaving a review and rating us 5 stars on your podcast app of choice.
And remember to always be a good sport.
Good Sports Podcast, where everything is gonna be alright.